Welcome to Over 50 So What? I'm Carol O'Halloran, the positive aging warrior. Tom Jones said, "I'll keep swiveling my hips until they need replacing." That's a great attitude. Keep doing what you love doing. I always say, I'd rather wear out than rust out. What inspires you? Today we meet the inspiring Julie Fisher, who's written 3 books and is on a mission to educate others about Down syndrome and encouraging us all to accept others even if they look and behave a little differently. Please get ready to move in the 5-minute fitness. Even if you're sitting down, Faye will show you a chair version. In the last segment today, we meet another Swedish choir member from the Choir by ABBA the Museum, and we chat to people enjoying their Dancing Queen performance for the over 50s. Walk in, dance out. Today we're speaking with Julie Fisher. She's a speaker and author, and she is on a mission. She's on a mission to create a world where people are not judged because they may look or behave a little differently. Julie, welcome to the show.
Hi Carol, thank you so much for having me today. I'm really looking forward to speaking with you.
Yeah, well, I've bumped into you over the last 5 years,
yes,
and you are definitely a woman on a mission, and it's a fabulous mission. Can you tell us about this and how your passion evolved?
So my passion evolved from having our 3rd son, Darcy, who lives with Down syndrome. One of the things that I noticed when we started going out into the community was people staring at him, or what I perceived as stares. We all do look at people, but I'd never noticed anybody looking at me before until I had him with me. And I started to react, and I didn't like it. I didn't like them staring at him. Why were they looking at him like that? And as he got older, my reactions were affecting him as well, and it was ruining our day. So my mission is for people to stop judging and, give a smile rather than a stare. Ask a question if they're intrigued. We also experience points and laughter and awful comments when we go out, and that's something that I want to stop, because I don't think it's fair for anybody to have to be treated that way. Like, these are people we don't know as well. Like, they don't come home with us. I want people to be kind, and I want to make sure that people like my son can live life without worrying about judgment and live life to the fullest, like we all should be able to.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned it's about your son, and it's your 3rd son.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the journey from when your son was born?
Yeah, so we actually received a prenatal diagnosis, and that was a decision made after I'd become friends with a lovely lady called Tina, who has a daughter with Down syndrome, and she told me what it was like to get a postnatal diagnosis. And we did go through all of the emotions, but when Darcy was born, there were no tears at the hospital. That was a really nice way for him to enter the world, I think. And then since then, he sort of had to slot into our family too, because he's got 2 older brothers that were very, very busy with football and basketball and school, and so like any other 3rd child, he had to sort of fit in with us. But we also had to fit in with him a little bit. It's been quite a journey. This beautiful boy has taught us so much as well. He's really taught us true acceptance and inclusion of others. He's taught me a lot more patience, I think. He keeps teaching us all the time. He's an amazing young man.
Well, going back to that hospital diagnosis, did you know anything about Down syndrome at the time, or was that the beginning of all your research and your knowledge?
I knew a little bit because of my friend Tina, and we became friends very, very quickly at school drop-off, because our older children were in the same class together. When we got the diagnosis of Down syndrome, she was actually running a support group, and I always say to families, it's really important to have that support with like-minded people travelling on the same sort of journey that you are. So I was able to join that support group while I was pregnant, and I got to meet an amazing group of mums and their children ranging from 1 to 7. So I did get to learn quite a bit, and they were full of advice for me and full of support, which was really important.
So what do you think are some of the misconceptions that people have about Down syndrome?
One of the biggest things is that they're always happy. People think that people with Down syndrome are always happy, and they're not. But I think where that comes from is when people see them, they're usually out doing something they enjoy. But he has all the emotions just like the rest of us. But one thing that he does have which is really beautiful, is empathy and very, very loving, and very caring, and that they can't achieve. You know, like, it doesn't matter on their ability. Everybody can achieve what they want to. Everybody with support and learning. I mean, we all learn new jobs, and if we decide we want to go down a different path, we'll go and learn about that, and it's the same for him, but he might need just a little bit of extra help. So he can work, he can learn new skills, just like everybody else, and I think sometimes people don't think that's possible.
So up till now, what have been some of your biggest challenges? Have you got some examples of some experiences that you've had that have been challenging?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is the judgment from others for me. That's huge, because I don't think it's fair, and I don't like Darcy feeling like he shouldn't be somewhere. I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Early on, it was therapies and things like that, because we didn't have NDIS funding, so it was really hard to navigate the support for that, but we managed.
So tell us some of the stories about people that have been judgmental. I mean, a lot of it's just lack of knowledge and lack of awareness, and that's what we're about today, is helping people to become more aware, because the prevalence is much higher in society than people realise.
That's right, and I've learnt that as the time's gone on as well. So I probably judged others mistakenly and reacted to what they were doing. As he's grown and as we've grown, I've realised that a lot of people just don't know. We don't know what we don't know, and sometimes we fear the unknown as well, and we react a certain way. I remember, you know, Darcy was incontinent till he was 14, and there was one time when we were waiting to be picked up from the movies, and he was bent down looking at something, and the top of his pull-up was showing, and a lady walked past with her child and said, "He's got a nappy on, that's disgusting." And I just couldn't believe my ears. I thought, why is it any of her business? Like, all these thoughts were going through my head. What's she teaching her son?
Yes.
What's he going to do now when he sees someone a bit different? And by the time the anger rose, she'd gone. Yeah, reacting's hard, because it's your child, so you want to defend them, and I don't want people to be mean. I don't understand it. I don't understand why we can't just all be kind. But, you know, as you say, some people just don't know, and they might make a comment that they don't mean to be nasty, but it's perceived as nasty. So by sharing our story and how it makes us feel, I'm hoping that we can raise that awareness and educate others.
But you've also had some really positive, lovely experiences. You told me a story last week about the swimming pool.
He did dual schooling with primary school, and those kids were absolutely incredible. It was one day a week, and the experiences he had at that school were just amazing. We did that just to see how he would go socially, and to see if he could experience some of the same things that his brothers did. And he graduated that school, and I think being part-time was perfect. The children called it Darcy Day every week. And I opened up the questions to the parents as well. I had a question asked the other day, actually, and she was very nervous. I said, "Please don't be nervous." She said, "Can people with Down syndrome have relationships?" And I said, "Yes, they sure can." And there's many out there that do. You know, they live together, they get married. It's beautiful.
Yes. What are your tips for someone about approaching someone with Down syndrome?
Just come up and say hello, how are you? Or give a smile, and you'll get the same response back. I think sometimes people think with disability people can't understand, especially if they're non-verbal. And if they're non-verbal, they've usually either got somebody else with them that can help. They can point, they can sign, or they'll have like an AAC, a device that can help them speak. So never underestimate people, never think that they don't understand, because they do. So just go up and say hello, and if you want to ask a question, ask a question. I love people to come and ask questions, because that's how they learn.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, and we're going to chat again about some of the books you've written.
Yes.
And keep up the fantastic mission that you're on.
Thank you so much, Carol.
Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe, and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50. So what?